Hello, my friends, and welcome back to another session with the older man. Yes, it's another lesson I'm going to be bringing you guys on men. Men, I'm talking to you today because we are in a crisis. And let me explain what I'm talking about. Listen, I've been having a lot of very private conversations with men who are going through a hard time. And one of the biggest problems that I'm coming across is that men who are feeling like they are disposable, useless. And I started to look into this. I was doing it for about a month because, I really wanted to try to understand why is it that men are really feeling like, I just feel disposable. And that's what we're going to be focusing on today. Men who feel like they're just useless, disposable, they don't have any purpose. So I'm going to call this segment The Disposable Man. And I want to address it simply from this perspective. Throughout history, we as men have always had a purpose. Protect and provide, whether it's for a family or a country, village, it doesn't matter. We always had this role of protection and providing. That was it. Our women were there to raise our kids, and our job was to make sure that they were good. But as this role has been diminished by technology, by the feminist movement, that women should be equal like men, etc., and women are now making more money, well, what is your real purpose? What is it? Society is saying, hey, we got to look at equality. You and women are equal. But we know for a fact that women don't want equality. They either want superiority or they want you to actually maintain your traditional role, but they don't want to be traditional. So what do we do? So this is what I want to get into today, is hopefully I can shed some light for you guys and help you out, try to get you to focus on some other ideas, another way of looking at life. Because you cannot think that you're going to survive in a modern environment while thinking traditionally. And one of the things that I see on this channel, a lot of you guys are still quoting the Bible and you're still going into the whole religious aspect of relationship. And that's fine. That's great. And you guys know I'm not religious, but that doesn't mean that I don't see some of the great things that religion offers a society. And one of the great things that I do see is that marriage, the traditional way of looking at marriage, where, the man leads the house, the woman takes care of the kids, I still see that as the best way that we as a society can survive. Because I can tell you, ever since we have changed into this new form, it's not working. Birth rates are down. More women, more men are unhappy as it is. So the shit ain't working. It is not working. We have fixed something, we have changed something, and it's not working. I honestly feel that in order for the society to actually survive, before it's too late, there's going to be a massive reversal. But I'll be gone before that happens. So guys, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, log into askanolderman.com, book a session with me if you're having issues, whether it's in your marriage, whether it's your social media channel, whether you want help on anything in life, I'm here for you guys. Okay? askanolderman.com. So I'm going to now look at some of the problems that we're currently having in today's dating market and today's relationship market. Because once you identify a problem, then you're more capable of dealing with or coming up with solutions. All right, so that's how we're going to approach this. First, I want you to look at today's dating culture. We men, we always feel that, and I took some notes down here, so I'm gonna be referring back to my notepad here. If I can get the light to actually stop reflecting off the bloody thing. The first and most important is the dating culture. I mean, everything has to start from a date, right? You meet a person, you meet a woman, something has to happen in order for you guys to realize, hey, let's pursue each other. Let's look at giving each other a chance. In today's dating culture, women are still looking for men to be chivalrous. Women still want men to do all the nice things, make the initial move. She wants him to pay for the first date. She wants him to still show her that he could provide for her. Her money isn't spent on him.
Anybody trying to date me, my bills are your bills. I don't care whose car it is. You're trying to date me. You're trying to take a load off of me. So my car is your car for the bills. I don't simple. You're trying to date me, so my bills are your bills.
And listen, we've seen so many videos like this. I feel like I sound like a broken record, but we know how this works, gentlemen. She wants you to do all the things that benefits her, not really wanting to reciprocate. And your ability or your way of showing her that you are going to be a worthwhile mate is how much money you spend on her. So this is pretty much killing the dating market, because men are saying, yeah, but these women are taking advantage of that because we now have the foodie culture. We now have the dating culture where women just get bored. So men just feel like they're being used. She agrees to go out with a food date. Yes, she agrees to go on a trip. Yes, she agrees to go on all of these nice activities. And then she ghosts him. She cuts him off because she knows that she got other guys waiting in the wings for her, especially if she's young.
Do girls have rosters?
100%.
How does the girl roster work?
The one guy, the girls always have one guy that they're like, if he asked me to be his girlfriend, for sure. And then they've got like a couple other ones that, yeah, they're fun. Like, oh yeah, he's really fun. Like, we have a lot of fun. So it's like one or two that they have really a fun time with. And then they've got probably two or three, because, or depends on how pretty the girl is, that they just use. They use for drinks, they use for dinner, they use for trips. And so girls have probably about 4 or 5 guys on their phone that they make them think that like they're the only one.
I also admitted to having rosters. Was there a point where you were like that?
So when I started talking to my now boyfriend, I was talking to another guy, and he, like, I didn't want anything serious with him. I just liked the attention. I liked the dinner dates. I liked just hanging out with him. And so he was just like, just somebody to hang out with.
So men feel like, hey, my value as a man isn't recognized. So those men tend to just stay out of the dating market. So ladies, this is one of the first ways that men feel like they're disposable. Then we come to social media. We have these platforms like Instagram and TikTok where women can just market themselves, display their bodies all over the internet. And unless you're in the top 7, 8, 9, or 10 of men in looks, in height, in status, where you can show that you're blinging, that you have it together, you're not going to get any attention at all.
Men are giving up on dating. And one of the reasons why is because of women's expectations. One of the main reasons why women have such unrealistic expectations is because of social media, and let me tell you why. So women are often fueled by what they see on social media. It seems like everywhere you look online, there are images of perfect couples, luxury, exotic vacation, lavish gifts. And this is very, very toxic because this is not even real. It's just social media. And these things create unrealistic standards for women because they expect that from a partner. And men feel like they need to be wealthy or constantly shower women with gifts to be able to measure up. And it's a lot of pressure. It can leave men thinking that they'll never be able to meet these expectations. And as a result, men are just giving up on dating because they feel like they can compete against those fantasy relationships that we see online. And I think it's very, very dangerous because it can lead to self-esteem issues as men feel like they're never gonna be good enough. And this can result in anxiety, depression. So yeah, it's a very, very concerning problem.
So those average men who don't have that, they just feel disposable. They feel like, I don't have any chance at all. Because any average woman these days can just go online and put on a bikini, regardless of how fat she is, how freaking slim she is, what kind of tattoos, what nose ring, it doesn't matter. It's ridiculous what women can get away with online and still get attention from men. And because of the simp culture, it's unreal. So men don't get any love on social media, but women have an endless stream of it. You know, back when I was dating, just 20 years ago, I didn't have those options. I didn't have those options to women because women weren't doing this. I had the women who were in my backyard, who were in my town, in my country. In a country like the Cayman Islands, it's very, very slim pickings. But it made me focus. It allows someone to focus. Hey, I see a potential in this person. I'm going to date them and I'm going to give them a chance. And it gets me to focus. And it got my wife to focus on me. So what this did was it made people realize the importance of one person and get along with that person. Because the illusion of choice that social media provides is a dangerous, dangerous problem. But it does make men feel like they are disposable. And then you have the inconsistent standards. This is the point where men just feel that it's up to them to just constantly give. And if they're not giving, whether it's in the dating process or whether it's in the relationship, if he's not the one that has to make adjustments to please the woman, then he's not worthy.
Why do women give up or become distant with a guy when he struggles financially? I was married a few years back and everything was going really well. The relationship was awesome. And then I ended up losing my job. Money wasn't coming in as steadily as before. She was distancing herself from me. I took it very seriously as far as getting through the good times and the bad, and obviously she didn't. She left.
That's another thing that men have to deal with constantly. And women don't realize this because the whole system is rigged to favor her. So this inconsistency makes men feel that he's not important at all. He just feels disposable. So we have to look at this as a society and realize that if you're going to treat men like that, we're going to have a serious problem with men actually taking women serious. So if a man is measured by only what he can give and not based on who he is as a full-on human being, then of course that man is going to feel like he's nothing. And you know, you ladies don't realize this until it happens to your sons or to your father or to your brother, because you can't empathize with any other man if you're not close to him. And I'm not talking about the man that you're in love with, because society have told you that you have to get what you can from that man. If you see your little brother being abused by his wife or his girlfriend, you will call it out. So this inconsistency is a huge thing. Now, the legal and the financial aspects of feeling disposable, this plays out in the courts. Whether it's child support, during divorce, alimony, this is where men feel it the most. Divorce favors women. That's it. Simple as that. So most men just don't want to even venture into marriages these days, because when divorces occur, this is when he feels most vulnerable. This is when he feels like, wow, I am disposable. Tyrese right now, he's fighting this bloody vixen of a wife that he had a prenup with, for Christ's sake. It wasn't a very tight prenup, and he's paying for it right now in court.
Tyrese Gibson has been arrested for failing to pay the required child support to his ex-wife, Samantha Lee. The court had ordered him to pay $10,690 per month for their daughter, Soraya, but he had only been paying around $2,200 per month, which was much less than what the court required. During a hearing on September 9th, the judge found him in contempt of court and he was taken into custody. To avoid jail time, he was given the option to pay $73,000.
But she wants, what, $20,000 for a 5-year-old kid in child support? Yeah, make that shit make sense. But that's what the law says that she can get. That's insane. So the laws are not in men's favor. So men are just saying, I'm not going to play the game. Not going to do it. Now, let's look at workplace pressure or societal pressures in the workplace. When a man is in the workplace, he's expected to perform at a height that is unbelievable. Women don't even have to perform that well in order for her to be pushed ahead of men. But a man, in order for him to stay on top, he has to work exceptionally hard. He has to go above and beyond. But hey, if a woman puts in enough, she can be easily promoted, because they're really trying to push this whole equality BS. If a man shows any emotion, any frustration in the workplace, he could easily be dismissed. But if a woman shows any signs from stress or anything else, hey, she's a woman. It's still there. It's a problem. A man will easily get fired much faster than a woman will. Yeah.
Here are 3 signs that you're being discriminated against at work. Hi, my name is Doug Lipsky. I'm an employment attorney. One sign you're being discriminated against is if your employer is setting different performance standards for employees doing the same job. The unifying factor for the employees that are not being measured as high as the others is their protected status. For example, their age, race, national origin, sexual identification, something like that, while the other group is being held to a higher standard. The second sign you might be discriminated against at work is if your employer is unevenly disciplining employees for doing the same thing. For example, if there's a group of employees who always show up late, that always get disciplined for it, and there's another group that always show up late but is not getting disciplined, you look for the unifying factors of them. Do they all share a protected status? Their age, race, national origin. If the group that is getting disciplined shares the same protected status, the employer is most likely discriminated against them because of that protected status. A third sign of discrimination at work are the trends in who is the employer hiring, firing, disciplining, promoting, giving salary increases. If you're seeing that employees who are performing at the same level, but one group is getting promotions and the salary increases, but the other group is not, and this group shares a particular protected status, that group is probably getting discriminated against, while the other groups are getting the promotions and salary increases. Same thing with the firing. If a group of a certain protected status is the group that keeps getting targeted for the firing, and when they're performing at the same level everyone else, it's usually another sign of discrimination at work.
And lo and behold, let's not talk about the SA and any other problems that a man can create in the workplace for a woman that he could easily be accused of. Man can't even look at a woman or say anything anymore. Most men are just quiet in the workplace, stick to their other men instead of talking to women. So how do you think a man feels? Yeah, disposable. And let's not talk about the media. Media and entertainment. The man is portrayed either as incompetent, docile, buffoon. Gone are the days now where they're portraying men as the masculine macho man anymore. And even if they do give him that role, they show that masculine macho man screwing up a lot. And who is he rescued by? Woman. It's always a woman who comes in and rescue him. It's insane. Partly the woman has enough brain to come in and rescue him when he screws up from being too macho or too strong or too aggressive. That's how movies are portraying men nowadays. Netflix is the worst. It always portrays the hero still as the man, but for some reason, the sidekick is always rescuing the hero constantly. And the sidekick, the woman, she then in the end always portrayed as the ultimate hero, the savior, the angel. So the message in a man's head is, hey, I'm not really that necessary. And of course, we have to look at men who are disposable in dangerous situations. War, dangerous jobs. Yet, the man still has to stay in the country, in the Ukraine. Women and children, they have to go. Old men who don't have any use, yeah.
On the battlefields of the east, Ukraine tries to repel the Russians. But on the western frontier, it's engaged in a different sort of war. Here, the authorities are trying to stop their citizens from getting out. They're needed in the army. It's short of recruits. But there are thousands of Ukrainians, like these men caught near the border with Romania, who do not want to fight. We make contact with a man preparing to flee through the mountains of western Ukraine. He calls himself Ivan and says he can't wait any longer.
I'm not being disloyal. Everyone understands this. Many of my friends have already gone. Anyone who has their opportunity is leaving.
They can go. I have a Ukrainian friend here in Dubai. He's 55 years old. They want him to come back home to fight in the war. This man don't even know how to bloody pick up a knife. But the point is that this is the problem that we have. Men are disposable when it comes to defending the country.
People simply aren't ready to die. Young people aren't ready to bury themselves alive. So they turn to us for help. A lot of people are turning to us.
Some call them traitors. Others say they're weak. But every day, the authorities catch men suspected of dodging the draft. and the number of deserters is expected to climb as the government lowers the enlistment age from 27 to 25. In December, the army said it needed up to 500,000 more troops.
The women over here are partying it up. They're all over in the apps looking for other men. They're looking to get laid and good and having fun in the nightclub. Yeah, while the men over there are dying. Disposable. So when men see these things happening, ladies, you have to understand what it's doing to our male psyche. The Western world is messed up because this don't happen on this side of the world. This don't happen in Asian countries. This don't happen in Russia. So guess what? You're going to lose all of your men to this side of the world, the Middle East, Asia, Africa. Men are going to start moving out in droves. Yes, you will be alone. Because the only men that you're going to have to deal with are the simps, the men, the yes men, the men that you can control, the men that you do not want, the men that you don't want fighting for your country. Because the real men, they're going to leave. And the young men who are seeing all of this happening, they're going to switch off. Because what you're doing is you're creating a generation of soft men born to single mothers. And it's a frightening state of affair to see this happening in my lifetime, at least. It's going to get worse. And now I want to basically just say, listen, the only way you can solve this problem, gentlemen, is to hold the line. Stop being a simp for women.
There's a high chance that your woman is asking other guys for money as well. Because once she begins to realize just how easy it is to make a living off guys who have money, she's going to try to milk the system. It's just it's a human thing, you know, when things come to you really easily, you spend it without thinking and you feel like you're entitled to it just because it's there in abundance. So such women never quite become content with, you know, that one source of money that they may be enjoying, and will try to milk the system and see how much more money she can get from not just you, but other guys around you, other guys in your circle, guys that you may not even know anything about, guys, period, you know. She'll be getting money from them, and the next thing you know, she's built, you know, some huge house somewhere in her village, or some huge house, or she's gone into real estate whilst you don't even have one house to your name. I'm just saying, sometimes you got to be smart. It's great to be in love, but don't be blinded by love. You know, love is a beautiful thing, but don't let it overtake your senses. Don't let it overtake the way you think.
Realize that the system is not in place to protect you, so you need to actually start going and talking to your congressmen and women, showing them the problem. You all have to unite, because that's what women have done. You have to get out there and say, all right, I'm not going to vote for anyone who's pushing the whole female agenda. You have to say, I got to push back on this. And you're not doing it to be mean. You're doing it because you realize that society isn't benefiting from what they're doing right now.
One of women's major complaints today is that men up to date don't act like men back in the day. They don't take their time out to court women anymore. They're not intentional about seeking out to be in a relationship with women. They're shying away from commitment. They don't really care to protect women. They don't care to provide for women. They don't care to tolerate women at all unless it's just sexual. And nobody can seem to figure it out. Well, I got the answer. Women have decided we no longer need to impress men, and the ones who do want to go out of their way for a man that they may be interested in or actually with, they are ashamed and made to feel like that they are doing something wrong for seeing a man past the tangibles. Everything that men have asked for, women have shunned them and said that we're not doing those things for you. We're doing them to appease ourselves. Everything is in the antithesis of men, so much to the point where women have decided that they no longer have a need for man past his provisional aspects, such as him having money or such as him just having great sex. And somewhere along the lines, we've lied to ourselves and said men only objectify us and want sex for us. So in return, you want to play the man's game and try to do it back. But then when they start telling you that they want things like a woman who can think or a woman who's actually going to be a partner, or a woman who can provide them a form of companionship, or a woman who brings them peace, or a woman who can read the room, a woman who can listen, a woman who knows how to cook, clean, nurture, and care for a house, a woman who's tentative. All of those things seem to be off your radar. We've taken cooking and cleaning and equated it to slavery, which I have no idea why we would be so disrespectful to our ancestors, because slavery was not just simply house chores. We've taken something so simple as, hey, maybe you're overreacting to, oh, he's gaslighting us, calling them narcissists, and disregarding all of their boundaries, even so much as the clothing.
Yeah, I'll probably get flagged on this video, but it's the reality of life. I mean, ladies, you're crying because you can't find good men, because this is what you created. This is what you fought for. You can't find good men. The older women, they're tired. They're sick of working. They're tired. They wish they could be that woman that could stay home and take care of some kids. So many women are crying for that because 90% of you are not becoming boss bees. 90% of you are not becoming the boss that you were told that you can become by doing your own thing, by going to college and getting all the degrees. You're not becoming that person. You're becoming nurses. The more hours you put in, the harder you have to work, the more it pounds on your body and mind.
Suffered from exhaustion, and my husband encouraged me to join him in the gym, which really helped me feel a lot more energized, feel a lot more fresh. And many working women are suffering from exhaustion because
So I saw a tweet the other day that said Black women are tired of working, and I felt that in my spirit. So I just wanted to come on here and talk about it for a little bit. So just to give you a little bit of background about me, I have 4 college degrees, 4, including a doctoral degree, which less than 2% of people in the entire world have. And I was raised, I'm in my 40s, and I'm part of that generation of women that were raised to be strong and independent. Somewhere along the way, the strong, independent, and the don't need no man part was added in. Now, that's not me. That's not my clarity. And with all, I don't even know how to get this out of my heart right now. But let me just say this. I don't want to work anymore. I'm done. I'm tired of it. I am completely over it. Let me tell you what I want to do. I want to wake up in the morning. I want to make myself an espresso. I want to get dressed and go to yoga. Maybe do a little shopping afterwards. Definitely have brunch. Come home, cook, clean, take care of my family, take care of my man. Tomorrow, rinse and repeat. Insert Pilates instead of yoga because I have to switch it up. Throw some volunteering in there. Of course, traveling, being a lady who lunches, a lady who shops whenever she feels like it. That's the life that I want.
How much traveling can you do? Okay, you travel, so what? You're traveling alone. Okay, you travel with your best friend until she gets married or she finds some other man to hook up with that distracts her. That's what's happening to a lot of you. Most of you are incredibly out of shape. You don't have any motivation to do anything besides work your ass off. And the stress levels are so high, you don't have time to take care of your body. You don't have time to eat properly. You're seriously in debt. You don't have any time to do anything else that's fun because you fell for the BS. So all I can say is, ladies, you can stay in this dilemma or you can jump on board with all the men and say to your congressman, we need to treat our men better so that we can get back to the point where we get strong, solid men that's working for us. Because that's what was happening in the past. You realize that feminism wasn't started by poor people. It wasn't started by poor women. It wasn't started by average women. It was started by rich-ass women who were bored and wanted power from the men who were powerful. It wasn't started by working-class women. No. This is what you women don't understand. It was not started by working-class women. Look it up if you don't believe me. So now you're all stuck as working-class women working even harder because you don't have a support system. You don't have any help from men. Yeah, make that shit make sense. Anyway, my friends, listen, I'm going to wrap it up there. Gentlemen, you just have to keep it together, grab your passport, or you can work hard on trying to find some women who have turned the page in their life as far as understanding that the system isn't working for them either. And hopefully you ladies will understand that I screwed up. Tell the man that, and you work together and you build a life together. Because that's the only way you can do it, because the men are leaving. Okay, so my friends, subscribe, book a chat, and of course, remember, whenever in doubt, always ask an older man. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.